Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Boston University's Nickerson Field for today's Patriot League Network broadcast of the Men's Soccer Championship game featuring the number 1 seed BU Terriers against the number 5 seed Bucknell Bison. I'm Eliza Halmo alongside my partner Isaiah Dicker. These two sides met just 8 days ago, battling to a 1-1 double overtime tie. And that was the regular season finale. Today, the stakes are just a tad higher in this championship game, but their roads to this game weren't the easiest, Isaiah.
Well, both teams went into double overtime on Friday. Bucknell won on penalties. BU won in the last final minute of double overtime. So obviously, both teams have had to deal with pressure situations. I mean, from Bucknell, they really struggled on Friday to get possession of the ball. They didn't get too many offensive chances. They just were able to lock down defensively and prevent Navy from getting anything going. And
in that regular season finale between these two teams, Terriers' leading scorer Dominique Badgie did not play. He was out due to injury, which could perhaps, now that they're meeting in this championship game, be somewhat of an advantage. Bucknell not having the chance to see him in person, perhaps only being able to watch him on film. What other players do you think will be keys to this game besides Badgie, of course, the leading scorer and the offensive player of the year in the Patriot League?
Well, for Bucknell, they'll really want to get Jesse Klug to get him on track. He didn't really get too many opportunities. He didn't seem to have too much space in the game against Navy on Friday. He and Patrick Figge, a couple times we saw them going long, trying to play aggressively on offense, but they just weren't able to really get that to work. And on BU side, one thing to look at is they're missing their normal starting back, Jerome Blue, who's out with injury. He was injured on Friday. Probably have Duff Bedrosian in his place on the back line. And that's something that Terriers have had to deal with throughout the year. They've had injuries to both Mdzongwe and Blue throughout their careers. And so if you're Bucknell, maybe you want to try to attack Bedrosian, try to put some pressure on him. But for the Terriers, you've certainly gotten a lot of great production out of Kelvin Mdzongwe and Bjarke Benediktsson, both of whom have done very well throughout the year. And Bedrosian's also played well on that back line.
Right, that back line giving up just a .6 goals against average this year, which is 8th best in the nation. Watching the Patriot League Championship match between the Bucknell Bison and the BU Terriers on the Patriot League Network, powered by Campus Insiders. We're just moments away from kickoff here. Again, the BU Terriers 12-3-4 this season, 6-0-3 in the Patriot League. It's their first unbeaten conference schedule since the 1994 season. 8-1-2 at home. Bucknell, on the other hand, 9-9-3, 4-3-2 in conference. Again, last year they made it to the semis, losing to Navy, who they beat on Friday to reach the championship game. Teams are huddling up. Last minutes, seconds of some pep talk here, getting each other fired up. Of course, big stakes today. Automatic berth to the NCAA tournament. It'll be the first for BU since 2008 season. For Bucknell, if they win, it'll be their first automatic berth since 2010. BU going left to right in the white home jerseys, Bucknell in the visiting orange. The Terriers will have the kickoff. And we're off. Terriers will play it back to Thompson. Sorry, mishitting it out of bounds. Bison throw-in. Bison throwing it around their back line. Looking for lanes. And then we'll have the first corner kick of the half, just a minute or so in. Terriers unable to clear it properly there, so the Bison will have the first opportunity of the match to get something on Thompson. This is Leibensberger. His delivery. It's cleared by the Terriers defense in the left corner. Ball stays in bounds. Lennart sending it back in. Again, Terriers unable to clear. Bison's hold possession. And that last-ditch clear is kicked out of bounds.
Bucknell looks very confident, just making all the kinds of passes they want to make, not really getting too rushed by the BU defense.
There's a shot by Leibensberger. I believe it was blocked on its way through and harmlessly to Thompson. He'll throw it wide. And in the middle of the field, the Bison committing a foul. I believe that was DeBona in the middle there, trying to corral it. And just beyond midfield, we have our first set piece of the game. Madzongwi stands over the ball. Back to Madzongwi. Two teams just feeling each other out right now. Not too much attacking, just finding each other. Looking for lanes. This is Amirani going wide with his pass. And the ball sent up ahead. Now again back to the left back. And Bedrosian into Badgie, but his pass is picked off. And then the Bison give it right back. Madzongwi carries. And Amirani in the middle, switching fields to Bedrosian.
Some good pressure coming from Bucknell, not really giving BU much room. A couple times they forced the Terriers to make some long passes that haven't really been able to work.
Yeah, playing definitely an 11-man defense from the strikers back to the goalie. Not letting the BU Terriers have much space. This is out for a throw-in. Ball booted to the right side. Sori's there. He tries to make a run into the box. Well defended by the Bison. Leibensberger. The Bison's clear is blocked. And the goalie comes out. That's Clark Fox. He comes out of the box, but his body went over the line, not the ball. Of course, the ball, if it comes out of the box, goalie cannot touch it with his hands. It's nice body control there, good effort.
A couple times on Friday, Fox had to come out of the goal like that when ball was in harm's way, so definitely not afraid to be a bit aggressive.
Out for a Bison throw, and this is Bank. And DeBona in the midfield, finding Badgie up top. He'll work backwards to Benedictson. Again, BU very content to play to feet and go backwards. Nice turn. Bedrosian sending it up, trying to find Barker, who's looking at the ref in earnest. Deep throw in for the Bison in their own third. Clear heads back to Madzongwe. He just gives it right back to the Bison, and it's in the hands of Fox. So nothing going too early here. It's no shots yet. Again, feeling each other out. Maybe a little bit of nerves. Championship game. But again, these two teams should know each other fairly well. Playing just 8 days ago. Benedictson into the middle. Out wide. But the Terriers are called for offsides.
Well, on that sequence there, finally BU is really starting to move the ball very well, making some long passes, and looked like Bucknell wasn't perfectly in a position. BU had a lot of room, not able to get a shot off, but they were able to move it around the field and not let the Bison's defense get settled. It's very important that BU can try to get the ball in the middle of the field rather than allowing themselves to be forced to the sides.
Yeah, since that opening Bison corner kick, the Terriers have controlled possession a little bit, but here the Bison passing it around, but good defense, good tackle by Bedrosian to get it away from Bucknell. So Sorry, leaving it for Bedrosian. Sending it back to Madzongwe. He looks ahead, trying to find Sorry, but it's headed out for the clear. It'll be a Terriers throw-in. This is Barker finding Sorry on the right flank, but it goes out for a goal kick.
Just too much power behind that pass. I think Barker might have felt a bit rushed. He didn't really hit that the way he wanted to.
And Fox's goal kick goes right out of bounds. This is the 12th appearance in the Patriot League tournament for the Bison. Again, just the first for the Terriers, as this is just their second year in the Patriot League. Last year not making the tournament. Before this, BU was in the America East Conference. And there they were 11-time regular season champs, winning 7 America East Conference tournaments. but faring very well in their second season with this new group of teams. Seeded number 1.
DeBona made a couple of nice moves, just didn't have enough room to keep the ball in play.
Midfield has been very active for the Terriers early on. Mostly playing with their back to the Bison goal. Doing well to shield the ball, keep possession for the Terriers. This is a Bedrosian with a throw-in. Up to Badgie, who flicks it on into the box. I think he was called for a foul.
I think he made just a bit too much contact there.
So Fox will step out of the box. Take a free kick. Bison attacking now. This is Thorsheim on the left flank. Gets a cross off, and it's great shot. One-timer by Klug. His left footer is saved by Thompson, but a great opportunity for the Bison.
That was almost too easy for Bucknell. Looked like BU had Thorsheim covered pretty well.
On the other end, Badgie almost gets to the ball, but Fox beats him to it. But he can't clear it out of danger here. Sori with a rip. Blocked by Bucknell. But again, BU holds possession. Into the box. And the Bison will clear.
BU will certainly have to do a better job defending in the box, because that pass just went straight to Klug and no one was able to cut him off at all.
Absolutely. And Klug, 10 goals, 5 assists, 3 game winners. That is not who you want to leave unmarked. He's a second team All Patriot League selection.
The Terriers now trying to run past the Bucknell defense.
Bison making a run. This is Thorsheim trying to take it to Madzongwe. Unsuccessful.
Well, Madzongwe was just in good position there, and I don't think Thorsheim really was able to fully realize that until it was too late.
Thorsheim volleying it into the box, trying to find Jonathan Grad. But Thompson, no hesitation, comes right out and grabs it.
The game so far is now becoming pretty wide open. Both teams really able to move fairly easily up the field.
Now this is the Terriers attacking on the left side this time, and it's deflected out of bounds.
But BU really able just to quickly get upfield, and that's something that I'm sure Bucknell would like to maybe look into. That's not something we saw from Navy on Friday night, where the midshipmen were really slowly making their way up the sidelines and really having trouble getting anything near the goal. And now both teams able to get themselves out in front.
Yeah, just about 15 minutes gone in this first half. Teams are finding each other and getting some opportunities on net. So far, Klug's opportunity probably being the best of them. This is Badgie trying to get it across the box to a teammate, but it's deflected out of bounds for a throw-in.
Well, Bucknell is wisely guarding him very closely, so didn't have too much room there.
Yeah, you see about 3 orange jerseys within 3 feet of him over there, not letting him breathe. Just outside the 18, here's DeBona. Out wide to Sori. He'll take on his defender. Trying to find DeBona again, I believe. But DeBona there not coming to the ball. So the Bison just stepped right in front of it. And now they're attacking. Medzongwe controls it. And the Terriers clear it out. Here's Badgie finding some room, finding DeBona in the midfield. Sori on the right. And here's Benedictson on the left. Terriers being very patient. Looking for that golden opportunity. Bedrosian will go back to Thompson. Bedrosian's pass back to Thompson there, not very solid. Thompson had to quickly get it away. Here's the Bison. With Grad in the middle, looking for Klug. Medzongwe does well to step up. In the midfield now, here's DeBona. Trying to cut it back to himself. The Bison are there. That ball going to no one. Here's Medzongwe, back to Thompson. Bedrosian looking ahead. No one really near that ball besides the Bison defender. Here's Amirani. He'll be called for a foul. Unhappy with the call.
Now Bucknell's defense really settling in. Terriers not moving too quickly, and we saw Thompson having trouble as Bucknell's pressure giving Terriers some problems on their own end of the field.
Just beyond half field. Nothing doing for the Bison. Thompson easily able to corral it.
Trying to find Klug, but the Terriers there doing a good job defensively on him. Just really couldn't get to the ball the way he wanted to.
Yeah, besides that one shot earlier, he's been bottled up pretty well. Here's Sori on the right, looks inside, trying to find Badgie, but it goes all the way across. Bison are able to clear it. Benedictson will go back across the field to Sori. Again, his cross is headed out. The Bison trying to play it again to play it ahead to Klug. And it'll run out of bounds off a Terrier. Bison trying to play wide, but it goes out of bounds. BU throw from Benedictson. And Sori on the right. He'll try to take his defender on. Good job by Leibensberger, I believe. Now he'll make a run on the left flank. Looking inside, this is Klug. His shot is blocked Well done. I think that was Medzongwe. Did not give him any space to get a shot off. Now DeBona will attack on the right side for the Terriers. Maybe trying to do a little too much. He's knocked down. And Badgie comes back, knocking down. That's Brian Ward. Getting back at him for knocking down his teammate DeBona.
And then Bucknell did a good job cutting off DeBona. And you're right there. I think he thought he had more room than he actually did. Just went too far. Should have probably pulled the ball out a little bit.
And that free kick is headed out by Bedrosian for a corner kick. It'll be the Bison's second of the game. We'll have our first sub of the game. Bucknell's Patrick Figge comes on for Austin Lennart. The corner kick, shot by, I think that was like someone all the way from the back line, a defender perhaps. But it'll go just over the net. He looked pretty wide open.
I think the shot was just a bit rushed, but no one from the Terriers was able to get to the loose ball.
And this ball will go all the way in across the box. Here's another shot. Klug, I think, was on the second chance off the first rebound. But again, it's saved by Thompson. Well done by Thompson, sticking to his line. Remaining solid, not jumping at anything. But Klug, another chance to get his team on the board.
Well, that's certainly something Terriers will have to adjust to, just giving Klug so much space.
DeBona finds Sori wide. And he cuts into the middle. He's still going. He finds Barker. But he'll be offsides. Not a bad buildup from the Terriers, though. Sori making a nice move into the middle.
And both defenses looking a bit shaky. Bucknell able to find some holes in the box, and right there, Terriers really able to freely move the ball. I mean, they're not able to get the ball to Badgie in that instance, but Barker is still very much a dangerous player.
This is Robinson kicking it ahead. Unable to connect with anyone, and Medzongwe will let it go back to his goalie, but Klug was right there. A little too much pressure from Klug. It didn't really go the way the Terriers wanted it.
Maybe a bit of miscommunication. Perhaps Medzongwe thought Thompson would come out quicker, but there wasn't really any room at that point for Thompson to play the ball. And Klug's had a very good game. He's getting some good chances, moving well. He's been able to navigate his way through the BU defense.
This is Rockmore, the free kick. So Robinson will head it away, but out of bounds for a Bucknell throw-in. Well, another sub was trying to come on, this one for BU, but referee wouldn't allow it. About 25 minutes gone in this first half. Patriot League Championship action. You're watching on the Patriot League Network, powered by Campus Insiders. Scoreless match so far. Both teams getting a few chances. I would say the Bison getting perhaps the better of the chances so far. Klug with a couple solid chances.
They've done a good job in the box. Terriers have had a bit of trouble cutting off passes going into the center of the box, and with a Badgie back, I thought that BU would be able to get the majority of chances, but so far they've really struggled to put a lot of pressure on Fox.
Yeah, Fox not being forced to do too much just yet. This ball goes over the head of Leibensperger, but he's able to get to it just before Sori is.
Well, luckily for Bucknell, that Sori was all the way on the sideline, so did a good job just putting pressure on Leibensperger and forcing the throw in here.
We had a sub come on for the Terriers. Lucas McBride joins the game. He took out Felix DeBona. There's Barker. Here's a cross inside. Fox deflects it back out of the box. And the Bison hurriedly cleared away. Badgie almost got to that cross.
It's a great setup. I believe that was McGuire, who just found himself open on the far side and was able to almost find Badgie. Fox just read the pass very well.
The Bison come back, and this is Thorsheim. And his shot just goes over the net. It's deflected out of bounds.
Well, I think he may have rushed that, and also he might have been a bit he might have lost a bit of his angle as Thompson came out just to cut down on the shooting angle there, and I think that might have forced him to shoot it high. So it looked like he had a large part of the goal to shoot at.
Thorsheim, a first-team All-Patriot League selection with 4 goals and 5 assists on the year. Wish he could have had that one back. Here's Leibensperger with the service. It's headed up and over the net. That was Zach Rockmore, a junior out of Albany, New York.
And you look at the shots on goal, 4-0 in favor of Bucknell, and I'm not sure if that's what I would have expected at the beginning of this game. And Bucknell doing a very good job catching the Terriers by surprise a few times. BU just hasn't gotten fully back on defense, and they're not catching up with all the attackers for Bucknell. In that case, there's Thorsheim. A couple times it's been Klug.
Yeah, and the Bison doing well to shut down the Patriot League Offensive Player of the Year so far, Dominique Badgie. Bison sub Jack Zollikofer comes on for Connor Willings. Robinson will clear it out. Benedictson trying to find Barker in the midfield, but is taken away by the Bison. Klug up ahead. Benedictson takes it away from him. He'll clear it along the sideline. Badgie trying to shield his defender. Now it's back to Barker in the midfield. Barker goes back to Nick Thompson. Thompson out of England. Leibensperger tries to find Klug up ahead, but he'll pass it out of bounds. Shikali in for the Terriers. He just came on for Bedrosian.
The Terriers may be trying to switch things up defensively, trying to fix the holes in the defense that Klug and Thorsheim have been able to exploit. Bucknell coming with some good pressure, not allowing the Terriers to quickly move the ball up through the field, up through the midfield.
Shikali, pressured by Thorsheim. So he'll go back to Thompson. Thompson taking his time. Looking up ahead to Badgie. And McBride. It's headed away. At midfield, Benedictson. Looking across to Sori, but Leibensberger's there. Sori takes it on the one hop. Down the right side, he'll get a cross off, but no one home for the Terriers. Bison looking ahead. Here's Grad in the middle. Nice redefending by Mac McGuire, taking it away from Grad. Thompson, though, gives it right back to the Bison. And you talk about that pressure. That was Klug. And here he is now on the offensive. He'll drive, and he takes a shot. Gorgeous goal. Klug with the left footer right into the right corner, putting the Bison up 1-0. Great shot by Klug.
And just no one able to cut him off. Had a lot of room there, and Thompson tried to get in position, tried to cut off the angle, and Klug just found a little space from the far side of the goal, and as you said, that was caused by the pressure. Bucknell very happy with forcing Thompson to try to kick it long, and right there, that cost the Terriers.
Perfect placement from Klug for his 11th goal of the season, but again, that was caused by his pressure defensively on Thompson. Thompson was forced to boot it ahead, and it went right to the Bison back line. They were able to get it right back up to Klug, who drove, and you're right, Isaiah, no one on the BU squad giving him any pressure, so he was able to drive in and really just take a perfect shot.
Well, with Jerome Blue out, the Terriers looking very shaky defensively, just giving Bucknell a lot of opportunities.
Just about 12 minutes left in this half. Klug getting his team on the board first. Again, the winner of this game gets an automatic berth in the NCAA tournament. Last time the Bison did that was in 2010. Bison, the 5th seed this year in the tournament, handing Lehigh a 4-0 loss in the quarterfinal game, and then beating Navy on Friday night in penalty kicks. This ball squirts back to Thompson. He'll roll it to Shikali. We'll see how the Terriers adjust to this situation. Thorsheim working down the left flank, Shikali kicking it out of bounds.
And again, the Terriers forced into long passes, and Bucknell covering those very well.
Thorsheim splitting a double team, getting a shot off. Nothing doing. Thompson is there for the save. It looked like it would have gone wide anyway.
Not the best shot, but still, if you're the Terriers, you don't want Thorsheim getting into the box like that.
Way too easy. He just split right between the two Terriers defenders and got a shot off.
And Bucknell certainly looking very composed, and right now the Terriers not making the crispest of passes, very rushed.
Playing a lot of balls ahead in the air, not so much to feet. Here's Badgie working, holding the ball.
And certainly if you're BU, you want to keep trying to get it to Badgie, but right there, Bucknell just cut him off. He was moving towards the box, and a couple players in orange jerseys got to Badgie, and he had no choice but just to go back.
Yeah, really well done by Bucknell on Badgie so far. Majority of the time he's been playing with his back to the net, been forced to go backwards. This is, I think that was McBride on the left side spinning around, but his cross was not very accurate. Goes over the end line. We'll have another sub for the Bison. Justin Galliani comes on for the goal scorer, Klug.
That was a nice idea there. Just think the pass might have been going towards Badgie, and it just had way too much on it. But the Terriers do need to try to attack in the box.
Here the Terriers are again making a run down the side. And there'll be a free kick for the Terriers. Good opportunity here. Barker stands over the ball. It goes across everyone off of the post. Badgie with a header. And it'll go out of bounds for a throw-in. Badgie's header deflected way outside. Great ball by Barker, hitting the far post.
It's a great setup. The Terriers getting a bit unlucky there. Badgie with a nice play, but Fox cut off the angle.
And there's a shot by Menzongwi that goes way wide of the net.
And Badgie was right where the Terriers wanted him to be. I think his shot went off of Fox's hands and the post.
Yeah, it really ricocheted very far, all the way to the outside for a throw-in. Well done by Fox to stay home. McGuire outside to Benedictson. He'll receive the ball back. Finds Amirani. Amirani passing it right to the feet of the Bison defender. But the Terriers regain possession. Badgie immediately double teamed, looking for the foul, nothing doing for the ref. But the Bison will give it right back. This is Robinson out to Shikali. Back line just playing pass with each other. No one really making any runs for the Terriers. Madzongwe desperately looking. Benedictson tries to get it up to Badgie. And it'll be headed out of bounds for a Terriers throw-in. This is McBride, excuse me. Benedictson finds Robinson in the middle. Shikali, bad ball, looking for Sori. Leibensberger's there. Here's the ball trying to find Galliani. But Magzongwe cleans it up. Shikali looking up ahead for McBride. We'll have a couple more subs on the BU side. Parker Powell in for Badgie. Eric Udelson also makes his first appearance.
Terriers really trying to shake the lineup up. I'm sure Neil Roberts will have a lot to say in the locker room because this just has not been a strong performance. The Terriers with a couple chances, but not looking at all confident on offense.
Here's a chance for the Terriers. McBride gets into the box. His shot's deflected. Out of bounds. Barker looking far post. And it'll spray wide. McBride injecting a little energy into the striker position. I think everybody's so focused on Badgie that McBride's gotten a little more freedom. Ball goes out of bounds. Terriers throw. Sorry on the right. He blasts a low cross inside, but again, it's blocked by the Bison. Shikali, sorry, his one-timed pass right into Leibensberger's feet.
Didn't really get too much on that. Almost just deflected off of his feet. In the last 2.5 minutes of the half, we'll see within Badgie's absence who becomes the focal point of the Terriers' offense.
Sorry has done well on the right flank. I think he just needs to start placing his balls a little better. He's kind of powering it in there. Not really getting a whole lot of aim on the ball. Some of them have been very good, but some have gone right at the defender. So if he can locate some of his teammates, Terriers could have some good opportunities. Here's the Bison with some space, and it's deflected right to Thompson. No problem there.
And right away, Bucknell gets back into its pressure.
Here's Powell running after it. It'll go out of bounds for a Terriers throw. Benedictson, Patriot League Rookie of the Year. He's recorded 5 assists for the Terriers as a defender. McBride touches it to Barker, and he'll be run down by the Bison. Here's another golden chance for the Terriers. About halfway between midfield and the top of the 18. Looks like Benedictson will be the one to take it into the box. Robinson gets a head on it, but it goes straight up into the air. Here's Barker. He'll take a left-footed shot. It goes up and over the bar.
It's a good shot by Barker. Just didn't have much space between himself. He was defended well, and he also had to try to navigate the ball over that crowd, but wasn't too high a shot.
Just 8 seconds left in this first half. Bison on the back of Jesse Klug will take a 1-0 lead into the break. Terriers looking a little shaky, getting a few chances, but the Bison really looking pretty dominant, definitely getting the majority of chances on net. Terriers coming on strong a little bit later in the half, but the Bison perhaps quite a surprising start.
Well, Klug and Thorsheim were getting a number of chances, and they were moving very well, just finding a lot of space, and BU didn't do what they needed to do to cut them off. And so that's something Terriers obviously will have to address, just making sure that they have guys in the box and that everyone knows where the ball is and they can pick up their men. And on the other side, I think Bucknell has done a very good job cutting off the Terriers in the middle of the field. BU's tried to go after, tried to get the ball over to Badgie, and a few times he either hasn't been able to get to the ball or he's been double teamed and just has been forced back. So we'll see what the Terriers can do to try to make more space for Badgie, maybe try to draw the defense away from him. And on the other side, Bucknell certainly wants to keep getting Klug involved in the game and keep up their pressure, which has done a very good job of forcing Terriers into making long passes.
All right, and the Bison 1-0 halftime lead. You're watching this contest on the Patriot League Network, powered by Campus Insiders. We'll be back with you for the second half action of this Patriot League championship game. Welcome back to Nickerson Field on the campus of Boston University. Second half action between the Terriers of BU and the Bison of Bucknell University. First half, Klug of the Bison took it to the Terriers, getting his 11th goal of the year, putting the Bison up 1-0 in this Patriot League championship game. Shots so far, Bison have been very dominant. 10-6, but most surprisingly, or most importantly, shots on goal 6-1. Badgie, the only shot on goal for the Terriers during that first half. What do you think head coach Neil Roberts of the Terriers was telling his squad in the locker room during the break?
Well, certainly they have to lock down on defense. They kept getting caught by surprise, giving Klug a lot of space, and I think they need to figure out a different way of dealing with the pressure Bucknell's been bringing throughout the game. They haven't really been allowing the Terriers to move the ball up, get comfortable in the midfield, and BU may have to try to bring more players towards the defensive side of the field and try for some shorter, quick passes that can get the ball up the field in a hurry and kind of take Bucknell a bit out of position. And one thing that you really need to look at is the two players we wanted to look at for this game, Jesse Klug and Dominic Badgie. Badgie has one shot in the game, Klug with 4. And certainly Bucknell's done a good job shutting down Badgie. He's been double-teamed several times, while Klug hasn't really had to deal with that kind of pressure. And I'm sure that there was another big point Neil Roberts was making in the locker room. You can't give a guy like Klug, who has led Bucknell in goals. He's a big offensive threat, and if you're giving him a ton of room, especially in the box, you're definitely going to find yourself in trouble.
That's right, and 3 of those 4 shots from Jesse Klug have been on goal, definitely proving that the pressure on him needs to be tightened so that he won't strike again and increase this lead. Set for second half kickoff. The Bison at midfield. Thanks for joining us on the Patriot League Network, powered by Campus Insiders. The winner of this game, again, will get an automatic NCAA tournament berth. Starts next week. Early on here, ball being batted around. Bison control it on the left flank. Here's Klug taking on Madzongwi. He'll rip a shot. and it goes wide.
And he also had a good amount of space there, really able to just comfortably get the shot off. Didn't have maybe the best angle, but still had a lot of power behind that shot. And maybe BU needs to be a bit more aggressive when Klug has the ball.
Yeah, Madzongwe definitely not applying any pressure on that attempt. You got to think what Roberts was saying in the locker room. You feel like Madzongwe would have gotten right on Klug if he had mentioned something about defense. This is a foul on the left side. The Bison will have a free kick. Rockmore. Looking in the box. Headed out by Robinson, I believe. Sorry. This is the Bison. Corral it. Up to Klug. Robinson trying to defend it, and he'll fall over, and then Zollicoffer is trampled from behind. The Bison will get another free kick just beyond midfield. Referee, few words of warning to the Terriers. There's Rockmore again. Looking inside, trying to find Klug. He volleys it back into the middle. That clear header goes right up. Still in trouble. Terriers need to get it out. Here's a shot by Zollicoffer, but it's blocked. Low shot was blocked. Out of the danger zone. Bison still looking to attack, and another foul committed by the Terriers. This one on Barker. So early on here, this is the third set piece already in Terriers territory for the Bison. Leibensberger will stand over this one. His delivery goes, a header flicked on, but it'll go over in the net, sail high. I think that was Klug. Tried to get his head on it. Could not direct it toward goal. And Thompson will have the goal kick.
Bucknell just looked a lot quicker than BU, really reading the defense very well, not letting the Terriers get to the ball, not letting them really get settled.
Here's McGuire trying to take on Figgy. What a poor attack there. Went straight into his feet. And now Benedictson's throwing is right to a Bison. Klug trying to work on Madzongwe. He'll control it, switch fields. This is Sorry. Looking for a call. And the ref will call it. BU will now set up their free kick opportunity. Benedictson comes over from the left back position. His service. Clark comes out. Clark Fox comes out. to handle it. And it'll be a Bison free kick. Foul called on the Terriers.
Well, Fox read that perfectly, and then I think after he had the ball, people were kind of bumping into him.
Well done by Fox to come out with no hesitation. And attack the ball. Terriers have it back though. Badgie turns. Up to Barker. Barker finds McGuire on the left. His cross will go off of Bison, but cleared out of the box. That's Zongwi up to Badgie. Badgie turns again, goes right this time. Sori will beat his defender. Gets inside and his cross, a header! That's Barker with a header goal to even the score at 1. Great service from Sori.
Well, that was just an excellent pass. Sori made a nice move to get by his defender, had some room, and I think Fox kind of committed on that side, but he wouldn't really have a chance getting all the way over. And then Barker able to control it very well, had a wide open goal to shoot at and didn't rush it or anything like that. It was a very good setup by the Terriers.
Very well placed cross by Sori. Really all Barker had to do was run onto it and power it into the back of the net. It was a not too high of a cross, right at head level for Barker.
Throughout the game, the Terriers have looked rushed, and right there, they looked very comfortable. Both players knew exactly what they had to do to make that play work. Even though they had defenders around them, they didn't let that get into their heads.
All game, Sori has had some good service, but that one, the best yet, connecting with the captain, Barker. But he's worked well down the right flank all game. Now the Bison, another set piece in BU territory. It's Barker's 4th goal of the year. Rockmore sending it in, headed out by the Terriers. Here's Barker going sideline, but he's cut off by Rockmore. Battle on the sideline for it. And Benedictson will take the throw in. Bison have it midfield. Building up down the left wing now. Here's Grad. Looking middle. Zollicoffer. Another foul called. This time just about 5 yards outside the 18. Bison with another dangerous opportunity here. BU's committed several fouls early on. This one will be the closest of the half for the Bison. Thorsheim's over there. He'll hit it. A header goes into the net, putting the Bison on top. That's number 11, Sebastiaan Blickman. His first goal of the year, and he dances in the corner with his teammates. Bison right back just minutes later, taking the lead back in their own hands. Deficit is back to 1 for the Terriers.
And it looked like Blickman just got completely free. No one really picked him up. I didn't see any Terriers around him to really apply any pressure. Basically, the entire right-hand side of the box was open, and Blickman could basically do whatever he wanted there.
Really, the Bison have been able to run freely in their offensive third for the most part of the game. Terriers not doing a very good job of marking. Medzongwe, his service is headed out of bounds. And Bucknell bench is fired up. Their fans are getting going. Blickman, what a time for him to score his first goal of the year. A sophomore out of Lincoln, Mass. Connor Willings comes back into the game for the Bison. Dan Bank takes a rest. Here the Bison are again attacking. Klug on the right. He'll chip it inside for another header opportunity, but it's saved by Thompson with his foot. Great reflexes there by Thompson. Could have easily been 3-1.
Probably the save of the game. Just had almost no time to react to that, and I thought that that was definitely going in, but Thompson just sticking the foot out.
Klug with great service for that header. BU another set piece. Sorry, the BU Bucknell University, another set piece. Terriers committing a lot of fouls in this second half so far. Just about 10 minutes gone. This is Blickman trying to settle it in the midfield, but DeBona's there. Robinson and Amirani getting a little confused, and the Bison will take it away. Klug. Another lofter into the box, but it's over everybody's head and it'll go out of bounds for a throw-in.
And BU looked very confused as they were trying to move the ball upfield. A couple miscommunications, and that allowed Bucknell to quickly get the ball upfield.
Bucknell riding a 6-game unbeaten streak. The Terriers also with a 5-game unbeaten streak of their own. So not only that streak on the line, but also, of course, the Patriot League championship and an automatic NCAA berth. Here's Bedrosian. Over to Robinson. I'm sorry. Sorry with that blazing speed on the right. That created that first goal opportunity for the Terriers. Foul's called on the Bison. Benedictson again will head over to take the free kick. Lets his teammates set up in the box. His left-footed service is cleared by the Bison. Barker. He sends it in, and it bounces into the arms of Fox.
Just no one there to get in front of that and chip it past Fox. Would have been a good play otherwise.
And Zongwei brings it down. Settles it back to Bedrosian. Here's Bucknell on the left. Thorsheim. He'll take a rip, but it's blocked by Madzongwe. Clear it up to head. Badgie, his one-touch pass to Barker is good, but Barker's service over to McGuire. Sails out of bounds.
That, I think, was rushed, and that's just been a persistent problem for BU.
Absolutely. Bucknell's pressure has certainly caused some issues in the Terriers' rhythm of things.
Now, Plord causing all kinds of problems, and Terriers again have to send it back to Thompson.
Again, back to Thompson. Thompson and the Terriers letting up just .64 goals against average, which is 8th best in the nation, allowing 2 goals today. And here's a bad giveaway from McBride to Pat Plord. Now on the left, making a run in is Thorsheim. Terriers regain possession. Barker sends it to Bedrosian. Bedrosian looking for McBride. Tries to settle it, but Blickman sends it out. Plord controls. Now Grad is trying to run onto the floater, but he'll be offsides.
It's well ahead of the play, but BU's defense just not catching up with the Bucknell players. And again, almost no room for the BU defenders to advance.
BU looking pretty stagnant when Thompson has the ball. Nowhere for him to go. And again, the Bison have possession. Here's Plord trying to run onto it. Unable to keep it in bounds. McBride is called for the shove. Set piece coming up for the Bison. Bucknell has typically throughout the season been a second half team. Rockmore's cross goes wide.
It's a good play by McBride getting in front there.
Austin Leonard comes back in for the Bison. But Bucknell almost doubling their goal output in the second half compared to the first half over the season. So that's not, we've already seen 1 goal in this second frame. BU, on the other hand, scores fewer goals in the second half compared to the first half. So the Terriers are going to have to get plenty of shots off here, especially being down 1.
The first step is just getting the ball through the midfield, really just understanding where Bucknell players are, and everyone in Bucknell has really been moving up, getting in front of passing lanes, and Terriers kind of just need to relax and move a bit slower maybe.
I think you're right. I think they need to start connecting to feet. Here's McBride trying to run onto it. Fox is there, though, to grab it out of midair. Yeah, the Terriers need to start connecting on the ground a little more, playing with each other more fluidly. They need to start getting some shots off on Fox. He's only seen one shot on goal in that first half. Bucknell with it on the left side. Thorsheim. He tries to send it into the middle. Lennart tried to get onto it. Now Bedrosian, his clear. Unsuccessful. And Grad on the left. Medzongwe will clear it out. Grad's service goes right to him. Bedrosian sends it across to Benediktsson. Badgie trying to work on the sideline with two defenders in his way. Now ball free in the middle, Amirani sending it to Sori. Had the game's first assist for BU on their only goal, and he tries to take on two defenders here, and he'll get a free kick for the Terriers. Bison called for a kind of a blocking call, not letting him get through.
Now we'll see what the Terriers want to do with Badgie here. Probably try to send him towards the goal, or get him a lane so he can move freely, but right now doesn't seem to have too much space.
Here's Benediktsson, the freshman. Sends it in. Headed out by the Bison. But Benediktsson right back in. Again, a cleared header. Ball still loose. Now it goes out to Sori. Try to work on Leibensberger, and he'll win the corner.
It seems like Bucknell has just been really able to read where BU wants to send the ball.
Benediktsson goes right to Fox. He holds on to it despite being, and now we have a little scuffle breaking out. Fox was knocked down by Badgie. So Bucknell got a little testy, trying to let BU know that they can't run into their goalkeeper.
Well, Badgie did a good job of reading where the ball was going, but Fox just got there first. We've seen that earlier in the game, where he can just track where it's going, and even in traffic able to play it very well.
Yeah, Badgie not able to get in front. Second too slow. Good job by Fox. Now Plord runs onto it, but Medzongwe comes over and handles it, but his pass goes right back to the Bison. Thorsheim tries to thread the needle, but the Terriers pick it off. Here's McBride. Barker. Go back to Benediktsson. About 22 minutes left in this Patriot League championship match on the Patriot League network. Barker Amirani tries to run onto it. And Madzongwe will head it back to Thompson. Referee calls for the ball to come back. And Thompson with a quick restart over to Bedrosian. Badgie looks a little lame as he stopped his run. Now he's slow to get up. Sitting on the ground. Sorry. Whispering something into his ear. Trying to get the Patriot League Offensive Player of the Year going. Badgie will fight through it. Definitely looks to be in some pain as he limps over towards the top of the 18. Terriers need him right now. Benedictson, again, it's headed out by Bucknell. Goes in again. McBride runs onto it, and it goes into the net. Fox came out and tried to punch it out, but McBride was able to jump just a bit higher, getting his head on it.
Well, on the last corner, Fox was able to read the ball perfectly and get to it before Badgie got there. And here he was trying to do the same thing, but McBride was there, and it put Fox completely out of position. All McBride had to do is just push it over Fox.
And getting the equalizer for the Terriers. Just over 20 minutes left in the second half. Now we're hearing it from the Terriers fans, getting pumped up. Amirani back to Madzongwe, who's just forced to boot it anywhere. Collision at midfield, Zollicoffer and Barker. The foul will be on Zollicoffer.
After BU's first goal, we saw a great response from Bucknell, where they immediately just got back into rhythm. We'll see if the Terriers can finally build on some momentum, and they just haven't been able to do that throughout the game. Even here, it looked like they were going to be able to push the ball upfield, and instead they have to send it back to Thompson.
Yeah, Sorry being double teamed over on the right side. He's forced to send it back. McBride here, trying to find a teammate, but it's taken away. Thorsheim. He's leveled by McBride. Rockmore comes over.
Well, Thorsheim's had a great game. The Terriers have had a lot of difficulty cutting him off.
Rockmore's free kick headed out by the Terriers. McBride tries to find a streaking Barker, but he won't be able to get to it in time. Goes out of bounds. We'll have a Bucknell sub. Jesse Klug returns. Ref calling it back. Klug got a good chunk of rest. The Terriers will have to watch out. He'll have some a little bit fresher legs.
I think that Plord was applying some good pressure and really making things difficult for the Terriers' back line.
Sorry. Now Benedictson. This is Udelson. And Barker sends one in. McBride was waiting for the header, but it's headed out by Bucknell instead, but not cleared successfully. And Barker's service goes off Jonathan Grad and out the back of the field for a corner kick. Barker will stay there and take the kick. His low cross is headed out, but Udelson goes right back to Barker for another cross that clears everybody's head and will go out for a goal kick.
That corner didn't seem like it had much chance of working. Trying to send it low and just too many defenders for Bucknell in the way.
Mac McGuire comes back in for the Terriers. And Eric Udelson steps off the field. Fox with the punt. Here's Barker, sends it one timed up to McBride. He's able to keep it in. Nope, he's not. Throw in for the Bison. Barker sends it back to Medzongwe. He'll find Bedrosian on the right. He finds Badgie, who awkwardly shot that ball, kind of skimmed off his foot and went wide. Not a lot of power, didn't really get a solid hit on it.
May not have expected that pass. Badgie certainly does not lack strength, and would have thought it more likely for that ball just to go over the goal rather than to kind of weakly go wide.
Sorry. Over to Benedictson. He'll send a ball in. Headed on. And then the shot by McBride goes right to Fox. Was not able to get a lot of power. Was kind of falling backward as he hit that ball, and Fox handles it cleanly.
I thought that ball just went too far. Terriers probably would have been better having that right out in front of the goal. But now they're starting to get some offensive rhythm. Bucknell's pressure really hasn't been too effective, especially since that second goal for BU, for Boston University.
Yeah, BU's defense clamping down a little bit. Just under 13 to play. McBride with the flick. Out wide to Lennart. He'll let it roll out of bounds for a Bucknell throw in. Here's another sub. Jack Zollicoffer comes back for the Bison. He'll take off Lennart. Bison throw into the box. And Terriers clear. Out of bounds. Again, long throw in. Again, Terror's able to clear it away. But here's a cross. Headed out by BU. McBride. Nice header. Up to Badgie. You can definitely tell he's a little hampered, but he gets past his defender. Great service. But they call a handball? Something with McBride.
And I think that was the first time we've seen Badgie have so much space, and saw what he could do right there, just getting around a defender and trying to set up McBride out in front. And on the other end, the Terriers' defense on set pieces looking much improved, not giving up a lot of space in the box.
Yeah, BU definitely stepping up their defensive effort. Not letting the Bison play with as much space. Here's a ball in. Blickman tries to settle it down. And it's sent back in by Willings. Goes wide. Here's a shot. But it goes right to Thompson. Not too much trouble. It was Klug. Bedrosian to Badgie. He'll send it back to Thompson. Benedictson up to McBride. And it's kicked out from underneath his feet by Willings, and then McBride, hard tackle in on Thorsheim.
And Thorsheim just got free. Willings with a nice play, and Thorsheim was on the other side to get loose.
And McBride will get the yellow card. McGuire, thank you. Mac McGuire, done well on the left wing for the Terriers. Junior out of Texas. Here's Leibensberger. Sends a curling ball in, it's headed out. And it looks like a Terrier's down after he headed the ball. Looks like Madzongwe. I think he was the one to head that ball out of the danger zone, and it looks like he's holding his nose. And the players will jog over to their benches, grab some water really quickly.
Looks like he may just be shaken up.
Good to see he's up on his feet at least.
And with the Terriers missing Blue, they probably can't afford to lose Madzongwe as well. I believe early in the season they played a little while with both of those players out, but not something that you want to do in a game of this magnitude.
I don't think Madzongwe is going to let this get in the way of his continuing. The Terriers jog back out onto the field. And McGuire, good sportsmanship, kicks it back to Fox. And here's Klug trying to run onto it. Thompson Grabs it before it goes out of the box. And again, the Terriers letting Fox's punt bounce very near their 18-yard line. You never want to see that happen if your defense let an opposing goalie's punt bounce. Should be the first to the ball. Here's Grad. Will be taken away from him. And Thompson boots it out, but it's right to the Bison. Willings. Looking for Klug, who one-times it into the center, but Grad unable to do anything with it. Now the Terriers possess. Here's Madzongwe trying to find Badgie on the right. Unsuccessful, but Terriers regain possession. However, it's taken away. And this is Figgy trying to run onto it on the sideline, unable to keep it from rolling out of bounds.
Got a bit ahead of himself, trying to get around Terriers.
Benedictson saves it. Goes back to Thompson. Thompson forced to just boot it as he was being pressured by Klug. Here's Amirani. Nice pass to McGuire. McGuire will try to send it in, but he's unable to catch up with it. It'll roll out of bounds for a goal kick.
I think he just kicked it a bit too far ahead of himself.
Just under 7 minutes to go in this Patriot League Championship game. I'm Eliza Halmo. My partner's Isaiah Dicker. Thanks for joining us on the Patriot League Network, powered by Campus Insiders. Knotted up at 2. Goals from Barker and McBride for the Terriers. Blickman and Klug finding the back of the net for Bucknell. Bison possess. Horsheim. Badgie finds Amirani. Nice dummy move. Tries to go around, I believe, Brian Ward, but Ward will commit the foul as Amirani stays down. Nice run from him.
And was set up by a great defensive play from Badgie. Didn't look like Amirani had too much space, but he made a great move, and suddenly he was wide open near the top of the box.
Barker, Benedictson, and Bedrosian all over there. Few yards outside of the box. Barker will strike it. I think it hit off of Amirani. It's back out. Benedictson just sends it long. Badgie tries to keep it in, but it goes out of bounds.
It was a rushed play by Benedictson. He saw a Bucknell player bearing down on him. Just tried to send it in the general direction of the goal, and not really much of a chance for Badgie to catch up with that one.
Bison being called for the foul. Just beyond midfield. Yeah, Benedictson trying to send it in like he did his earlier assist. Just sent it in from long. Didn't work this time. Here's Barker. Klug trying to settle it. And a foul is called.
I think Barker got too much on that one.
Rockmore. That ball makes Zamorani tumble backwards after he headed it. Benedictson from Robinson. He'll find Barker. Barker trying to take on his defender, sends it in. Badgie skying for it. Here's McGuire finding Benedictson. Fakes the cross. Finds McBride. McBride will get it wide to Sori. Terriers being patient. Sori gives it wide. Bedrosian. His ball hits the post. Fox just out of reach of that one. Good build-up from the Terriers. Nice patience. McGuire. He'll try to get a cross off. And Willings is there. And it deflects off of him out of bounds for a corner kick. Barker. Just under 2 minutes to play. Mzongwe with the header and a bicycle kick attempted by McBride. Sails over the net. Not a bad effort.
He did a great job of getting to the ball in the midst of a crowd. Obviously just a very difficult play to make that from over his head.
That would have been quite the finish to this game. Just a minute and a half left. Seems like we're destined for overtime. Fox sends it beyond midfield. Badgie staying on the defender. Blickman. Here's McBride now with just 45 seconds left. And his shot goes high.
He
way above
definitely
the net.
Rushed that one. I think he had a couple teammates coming from behind, and he should have maybe pulled out a little bit instead of just trying to go for the win right there.
Now just under 30 seconds. Fox content to take his time.
You just want to make sure for the next 15 seconds it stays on the other side of the field.
10 seconds now. McGuire slips. Benedictson, the last-ditch effort. McBride tries to hit it along. But Fox is there, and we will head to overtime in this Patriot League Championship game. Both squads coming off late games. Of course, the Terriers winning in the 109th minute on Friday off a Badgie goal over Army. Bucknell also double overtime, 0-0. Had to win it in penalty kicks. We will take a 5-minute break, but you see the Terriers really stepping it up in that second half, getting those two crucial goals, tying it up both times.
Well, after that second goal, the Terriers really came alive, and we saw in that last sequence with a couple minutes left, they were controlling the ball all around the goal, just not getting it on goal, but certainly making the Bucknell defense work, and they finally looked comfortable. Number of players, McBride, Barker, Benedictson, really looking very good, moving around, forcing the defense to kind of come out of position, and certainly going into overtime, it seems like BU has the edge and momentum, and we haven't seen too much of that great pressure from Bucknell in quite a while, and Klug and Thorsheim haven't really been able to get free, especially in the last 20-25 minutes of that second half.
And you're watching the Patriot League Championship on the Patriot League Network, powered by Campus Insiders. We'll take a short break. Welcome back to the Patriot League Network's broadcast of the Patriot League Championship game. We're tied at 2, Bucknell and Boston University. We're at Nickerson Field on the campus of BU. And these two teams pretty familiar with overtime games. This is the 4th overtime game in the last 7 games for the Bison. For the Terriers, it's the 5th of their last 6 games that has gone into overtime. So this extra time should be very intriguing. The goals, the first half we saw just one from Klug, putting the Bison up 1-0. And in the second half, we saw 3. BU tying it up both times. Goals from Barker and McBride. Blickman got the second one for Bucknell. It's first overtime period, 10 minutes. The winner, of course, gets an automatic berth to the NCAA tournament. Again, BU winning in their semifinal matchup against Army on Friday. Badgie scoring in the 109th minute. Bison taking their game with Navy, 2 penalty kicks. Teams have stayed on the same side as their second half positions. Bison control it. Booted into the air. McGuire can't handle it. Foul called. It's a handball, I think. But the Terriers really turned it on in that second half, coming back from deficits twice, looking more like themselves, tightening up on defense.
It definitely looked like they had a new burst of energy, but now it seems like Bucknell may be trying to seize that a little bit.
Here's the ball into the box. Thompson can't get his hands on it, and it goes into the net. And Bucknell, just a minute and 54 seconds into the first overtime period, Bucknell strikes, and they will advance to the NCAA tournament with an automatic bid. It was a header by whoever is at the bottom of that pig pile. The 5th seed overcoming the number 1 seed in this tournament.
He didn't have a goal all season, and 2 in this game. Just a phenomenal game for Sebastiaan Blickman. And Bucknell played a great one here, playing a road game to try to keep their season alive, and they got a number of good performances, and that was a very well-placed kick by Thorsheim, and Thompson just couldn't get to it.
Well done by the Bison. They've had many free kick opportunities. That one goes into the back of the net, and they'll win 3-2, gaining that automatic berth. Blickman, 2 goals on the season now, game of his life, and we will send it down to Alexa Galloway. She's with the winning team.
Coach Nash, Coach Bucknell won the Patriot League Championship. What does win mean to you and the team?
Kind of speechless on to sum it up, but it was a long difficult at times journey, and in August we talked about the potential this team had. We weren't fulfilling our potential some points during the season, but towards the end of the season, the last month, these guys really came together as a team, and we're pretty happy right now. I'm very proud of our student athletes.
The game was pretty back and forth until the end. What was crucial about today's win?
I wish I could tell you, because if you know me as a coach, a 3-2 game is not something that I ever draw up. When we got a 1-0 lead, actually when we went to halftime, we said we need to try and get the second goal, and unfortunately Boston did a good job of doing what they do well, and they put a ball to the back post, scored a very good goal. We responded well, and then they responded well, and then when we got to overtime, we just said, do you want this moment? And Sebastian, I guess he wanted the moment because he just put it all out on the line and scored the winning goal. And hats off to Boston. They just kept coming back, and good thing it was a golden goal, because if we had to keep playing, they might have scored a third goal.
Now I'm here with Sebastian. Sebastian scored the game-winning goal in overtime. How did that play unfold?
I just kind of got lucky. It kind of bounced to me. Zolly headed it to me, and I just kind of hit at it and hoped it went on frame. I haven't scored ever before, before tonight. So I kept telling the guys it was coming. I've hit a couple posts, but finally I got one. So. Now
you were named MVP. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I'm from around here. I used to train on this field all the time. I got a bunch of family and friends here. It's really special. It's really emotional, actually. I mean, I've never been a part of anything like this, so it's pretty special. I got lucky.
Thanks, Sebastian.
No
For
problem.
Sebastian, I'm Alexa Galloway here on the Patriot League Network.